Death, it's the ultimate unknown. And let's be honest, it's terrifying for most of us. We spend our entire lives wondering what happens when the clock runs out. Do we just fade to black? Do we go to another realm? For thousands of years, humanity has tried to answer this question. But what if I told you that two completely different worlds, the ancient, mystical sages of Hindu philosophy and the hyper-rational physicists of modern science, are actually pointing to the exact same reality? Today, we are diving deep into the concepts of death, rebirth, and moksha in Hinduism, and looking at the mind-bending scientific parallels in thermodynamics and quantum fields. We're going to see how ancient spirituality and modern science both agree on one fundamental truth: you are never truly destroyed. In the Western world, we often view time as a straight line. You are born, you live, you die, and that's it. But in Hindu philosophy, time isn't a line, it's a circle. When your physical body dies, Hinduism teaches that your essence, the Atman, or true self, doesn't die with it. Instead, it drops the body like a worn-out piece of clothing and moves on to a new one. This endless cycle of birth, death, and rebirth is called Samsara. What powers this wheel? Karma. Now, pop culture uses karma to mean cosmic revenge, but literally translated, it just means action. Every thought, word, and deed creates a ripple, an energetic imprint. Your karma dictates the circumstances of your next life. It's the ultimate system of cause and effect. This demonstrates the continuous, cyclical journey of the ATMA through various stages of existence. As the cycle continues, the soul experiences human birth, aging, and death, after which it may be continually reincarnated either back into human form or into one of the 8.4 million lower animal species. The determining factor for the soul's next destination after death is the accumulation of its karma and yoga, which dictates whether it remains trapped in this endless loop of rebirth or finally transcends it. Through spiritual discipline and righteous action, the ATMA can eventually achieve moksha, successfully breaking away from the cycle of reincarnation entirely to attain ultimate, permanent liberation, thus joining the collective Brahman God. If you have a scientific, skeptical mind, the idea of an immortal soul hopping between bodies might sound like pure fantasy. But let's strip away the spiritual vocabulary and look at the physics of death. The first law of thermodynamics states that energy cannot be created or destroyed in an isolated system. It can only change forms. Furthermore, mass and energy are fundamentally interchangeable. Right now, you are a localized, highly organized bundle of physical and chemical energy. You are made of oxygen, carbon, hydrogen, and electrical impulses firing in your brain. When you die, your body stops functioning. But that energy does not disappear. It cannot disappear. Your thermal energy dissipates as heat into the environment. Your chemical energy breaks down and is absorbed by the earth, feeding microbes, plants, and eventually other animals. Every single atom that currently makes up you will be redistributed to form new life. You are literally biologically and chemically reincarnated into the world. Science calls it conservation and recycling. Hinduism calls it samsara. So, if we are constantly being recycled, what's the end game? In Hinduism, the goal is actually not to keep coming back. The goal is to get off the ride. This is the concept of moksha. Moksha means liberation or release. It is the realization that your individual ego, the I, that you think you are, is an illusion, Maya. You realize that your Atman individual soul is actually the exact same thing as Brahman, the ultimate, universal reality. After death, the soul doesn't instantly reincarnate. Instead, it travels in a subtle body carrying the energetic imprint of its past karma. Based on these actions, it temporarily resides in intermediate realms like Swarga, a heavenly reward, or Naraka, a purifying underworld. Because these aren't eternal destinations, once the karmic debt is settled, the soul returns to earth in a new physical form to continue its journey toward ultimate liberation, moksha. When a drop of water falls into the ocean, does the drop die? No, it just ceases to be a single drop and becomes the entire ocean. Achieving moksha means shedding the illusion of separation and merging back into the infinite source, ending the cycle of rebirth forever. How on earth does science parallel a spiritual concept like moksha? We have to look at quantum field theory and the laws of entropy. In quantum physics, particles are not isolated, solid little balls. They are actually just temporary ripples or excitations in underlying, universe-spanning fields. You and I seem separate, but at the foundation level of reality, we are just temporary ripples in the exact same fundamental quantum fields. The illusion of separation in Hinduism perfectly mirrors the reality of quantum mechanics. And what about merging back into the infinite? Let's talk about entropy. The second law of thermodynamics dictates that the universe is constantly moving toward a state of maximum entropy, total disorder, and equilibrium. Billions of years from now, stars will burn out, matter will decay, and the universe will reach a state of thermodynamic equilibrium. There will be no separate stars, planets, or beings. Everything will be a perfectly unified, singular soup of energy. The individual parts will dissolve, and only the unified whole will remain. A cosmic merging, a scientific moksha. Death is a heavy topic, and it's completely valid to feel anxious about it. But whether you look at it through the lens of a 6,000-year-old Sanskrit text or the lens of modern astrophysics, the conclusion is surprisingly comforting. You are not an isolated thing that will just vanish into nothingness. You are an essential part of an infinite, transforming universe. Whether you call it the conservation of energy or the cycle of samsara, your existence is woven into the very fabric of reality. Which perspective brings you more comfort, the scientific recycling of energy or the philosophical journey of the soul? Let's have a respectful debate down in the comments. If you enjoyed this deep dive, hit that subscribe button for more videos exploring the crossroads of science, philosophy, and the human experience. Until next time, keep questioning,